your horn tingling? Let's rub horns. Horns up, horns up, horns up, horns up, horns up. We are Unicorn Focus.
Hey guys, welcome to the basement. Welcome to the live stream. Horns up. There's an old saying in the world of the stock market that volume precedes price. And with UFD, we are seeing massive amounts of volume right now. We're going to dig into that here in just 1 second. But what that means is when the volume picks up in a big way, oftentimes, look, there's no guarantees. You know, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial planner. But oftentimes when you see big upswings in volume, that is followed by big upswings in price. And we are seeing some very interesting data when it comes to volume trading on UFD. We're always focused on the community, but when something like this is happening, we've got to take a look. This was from yesterday. I saw that the UFD volume spike on HTX. Look at this chart down here below. Here's a chart of volume since listing. It's interesting to say the least. Shout out to Wagme Wham for catching this first. So what they're showing here on this chart, and this is apparently just from HTX, is a massive upswing in volume. But we can see it even more if we go to an up to the minute, up to the second data here on Coin Market Cap, and where we see currently we're trading just below $26 million. Let's get the markers out here. In market cap, okay, $26 million. But our volume right here over the last 24 hours is $20 million. So of our $26 million market cap, we've seen $20 million in volume. And then if we go down here, it shows us the volume to market cap over the last 24 hours is at 80%. Now, look, I'm focused on you. I'm focused on the community, but I do look at the chart 1 or 2 times a day. It'd be a waste of my time to spend my whole day staring at the chart. It never does any good. But when I do look at it and when I see data like that, and I do know from watching it over the last 6 months, we've never seen such, and this has been going on for a few days on Coin Market Cap, as I remember. I mean, this could be, something's going on. I don't know what's going on. Maybe you guys can send me a DM, tell me what's happening. But what I see is a big move up in volume. And look, over my, 30 years of following stocks and other financial instruments, it was always said that volume precedes price. So we'll see what happens. It's very, very interesting. Again, the most important thing is you, the community, what we are doing right now, and we are killing it there. Let's go out here and take a look at some social data that we're getting. And we can see this one came from Ez the Duster. UFD holds the 3rd position in mentions, according to Lunar Crush, social statistics among all pump.fun ecosystem coins. So here we are, number 3 again, right? There's a good old UFD, number 3. That's the size of our box. And when we compare that to the size of Fartcoin, I mean, we're almost pretty much at 50% of the social mentions that Fartcoin gets. And we know that Fartcoin, although it has been in a bit of a downtrend itself, but their market cap is what? Like, I don't know, let's go look. Hold on, Dusters. Let's go on a little field trip. We'll go back out here to Coin Market Cap and, let's see here. Put in fart and see what comes up. Fartcoin. Nope, that's not it. Here it is. Fartcoin's current market cap is $920 million. So again, well above 30x where our market cap sits. So it's really incredible. I mean, it points out to us, and we know that our community, and hey, hats off to Fartcoin. We're happy for them. We're great what they've great for them, what they have achieved, no doubt about it. But when we compare, if our market cap, just saying, was half of Fartcoin's, let's say our market cap was less than half, 400 million. That would be what, about a 13x from where we are right now, just to be at half the market cap of Fartcoin. And again, we're happy. I'm happy when Fartcoin goes higher and higher and higher and higher. It's been pulling back lately as well as the entire meme coin sector has. But nonetheless, if our market cap were to go to 400 million, again, less than half of the market cap of Fartcoin, we'd be up 13x. And, look, all respect to Fartcoin. I'm repeating myself, but this is so critical. I'll put our community, I'll put what you're doing day in and day out up against anybody. And don't forget, guys, very important, these challenging times. And overall, it's been a challenging market in crypto and in the meme coin sector for the last, 2-3 months? Feels like forever. I'm with you. But the good thing that's happening day in, day out is during these it's easy to, quote unquote, build a community when the market's booming and everything's doing great. But is that really the community? Is that really sustainable, strong growth when it's happening, when the market's taking off like crazy? I would say no. I would say that the real growth, the real forging of a solid community. Luca Netz talked about this when I talked with him a couple months ago when he was a guest here on the show. Really, even yesterday when I was talking with Kyle Chassie, he somewhat brought the same thing up as well. Like, the real community is built during, unfortunately, the reality of the situation is it's built during the difficult times. So what we are doing, what you are achieving day in and day out is a big, big deal. Let's go look at another piece of data here. Oh, this is the great one. UFD Top Voices in the last 24 hours. This was from yesterday, but hey, look who's yes, make sure we got the right. Yep, look who's number one. Susie. Hold on, let's give her a call. Susie, did you know you were number one? I think this was yesterday on the on social mentions.
Yeah, but that's awesome, and I think it's really funny. I love seeing my little picture up there.
Okay. Well, congratulations. On behalf of myself and the entire Duster community, we'd like to congratulate you, Susie. This is a fun piece of data, though, and I think this was Ez who put this one out, and it's from Cookie.Fun, and guess who's at the forefront? We got Mr. Ape out there, DJ Litmus, Gotcha Ghost, Nate, Shax, Obi Wanton, Franny, and looks like Crypto Art down there as well. So congratulations. Keep up the good work in that regard, guys. This I thought was interesting as well. This post came from Obi. He said, with social dominance, UFD has always ranking in the top. You can be assured that our repricing will be violent. Patience, Dusters. Valhalla awaits. And for those of you who don't know, Valhalla is the Viking heaven. Okay, so there, and this is a different way to look at what we just looked at. But there we are, guys, right? There's our bubble. There's the old UFD bubble. Oop. Hold on. Oh, Susie was coming through there. Yep, here we are. All right, here's the UFD bubble. Draw that. Oh, Valhalla. Thank you. Thank you, Susie. There's the UFD bubble. All right, there we are. Okay. All right, guys, keep it up. We're doing great. Everything's wonderful. Now let's look at something else that you can really pat yourself on the back with. I found this fascinating. I had no idea the statistics involved here. This comes from Bastille, and Bastille tells us that the reality is 98.4% of the Pump Fund tokens, and yes, we were launched on Pump Fund, never make it to Radium. That means they never get out of the Pump Fund ecosystem. They never bond, I think it's called. There's a thing called a bonding curve. Anyway, out of the 1.6% So, that means if you were to line up 1,000 people or 1,000 coins, only 10 of them basically, no, 16, I'm sorry, would do this. 1.6% that do, here's how they performed. Okay, so there were 43,000 graduating tokens. 35,000 never made it to 500K market cap. We'll skip down here. Only 369 ever made it to a 10 million to 50 million market cap. That's less than 1%. Only 64 out of all those, so 0.146%. So that would be like 1 in 1,000 or 1.5 in 1,000 made it to a 50 million to 200 million market cap. That would be us. We did that. Only 23.05, so that would be 5 out of 1,000 made it to 200 million to 1 billion market cap, and that would be us as well, guys. We hit 240 million, and at one point then later we also hit 400 million in market cap, and only 2 made it above a billion. We did not make that cut, but only 23. Okay, here we go. 23 out of 44,000, 23 out of 44,000 made it above 200 million. And we are part of that group. We accomplished that. We are accomplishing what we're accomplishing day in and day out in this community, building, right? Building solid building blocks. The community is stronger than ever. What you're doing is working right now more than ever. And day by day by day, we continue to prove it to ourselves, prove it to the crypto community, and prove it to the world that we are here to stay. And each day we're getting more and more people joining us. And quality. We are quality oriented, quality people who are going to stick around and keep UFD as one of their main priorities, their main focuses. It is a big deal because you know what? You know what, Dusters? It's been a few days. There's only 999 million UFD beans. Do you see that line? Do you see that number? Look at that. Look at that. Okay. Dogecoin can make more coins. Okay. Other cryptos can create that. That would be like if this right here is limited in size. Okay. It cannot get any bigger. And as you fill this up with diamond hoof dusters, we do get to a point where we hit a bean shortage. When they're talking about volume, $26 million market cap and 20 millions trading. Okay. If once, and it's happening little by little by little, but as we continue to fill this up with diamond hoof dusters, hodlers, whatever you want to call them, you get up to here, we get it up to here, and there's only, let's say we have out of 999 million beans, let's say we have 700 million of them in the hooves of diamond hoof dusters, people who aren't going to sell. Then there's only that little bit up there, and they try to pump through 20 million, $40 million in volume. There will be a shortage of beans, right? The scale will tip, and it could be a beautiful thing. And remember, this cannot get any bigger. Some of the other crypto, some of the other meme coins, they can make this jug as big as they want. They can make that 999 million number go from being 1 billion to 2 billion to 4 billion to whatever they want. Depends on the coin. We're stuck, which is a good thing, right? That was one of the very first things that got me sold on continuing to support Unicorn Fart Does, was that this is finite. It's not like this, right? You can have as many of these as you want. Just call up your friend Jerome Powell at the United States Federal Reserve and say, Jerome, print some money. They're printing it all the time. Go out and look at the M2 money supply. So this is a big deal. And this will deliver us to Valhalla. Valhalla. We got to shake the beans, Dusters, every single day. Yeah, they can print dollars into infinity. Here, I'll just pull it up right now. I was going to save this for later, but this is worth us looking at right now. Here we go. The Treasury Secretary, Scott Bessent, said this over the weekend. He says the U.S. is never going to default on its debt, okay, as debt limit deadline looms. The darn. So the Treasury Secretary says, oh, hold on a minute here. All right, I'm going to close that. Okay. Sometimes Fox News does that. Can you see me? Oh, no. Hold on a minute here, guys. We got some technical problems. Then we're going to get back to that. There we go. Share. Okay. All right. And go back here. I'm coming back. Don't you worry. Okay, here we are. Sorry, guys. They had a little StreamYard issue there. So the Treasury, okay, we are limited. Gold and silver are limited. Unicorn fart dust is limited, finite, can't make any more. They can print as many dollars as they want. Scott Bessent over the weekend says, don't worry, the United States government will never default on its debt. What he's basically saying is, we'll devalue the dollar into infinity. We can print as much as we want. Sure, we'll never default. It's just a matter of what's the dollar going to be worth. And if we use the U.S. dollar as the unit of measure, which we've all been tricked into doing, for UFD, for anything, right? For a gallon of gasoline, for an ounce of silver, for one UFD coin, right? We think in terms of dollars. We use the dollar as the unit of measure, okay? Well, then as more and more money is printed as we go forward, right? The things that you measure in dollars will go, quote unquote, up in price. That's the way it works. If you keep printing, there's only, look, here's a good example for you. This is great. And you can use anything that's finite in nature. Over here, see if I can hold this with one hand. This could get ugly. Over here, right? There's a limited number of beans. Over here, there's unlimited amounts of this, okay? Unlimited. So if this was all the money, dollars in the world, and this is all the beans, okay, well, then it would just pretty much stay at the same relative value. But no, you can make as many of these as you want. As many. You can print as many as you want. You can't print as many as of these. The same thing could be said with this. I just happen to have a beautiful ounce of silver that I got from First Mint. Look at that. Silver's beautiful. I love silver. I think the price was up big earlier today, too. That's from First Mint in Las Vegas, Nevada. They sponsor my gold and silver content. But the same can be said, yeah, it's true here, right? There's only so much of this in the world, period. This can be printed to infinity. It's a very important concept for all of us to understand. Thank you for listening. All right, let's move on. We got a lot more to talk about. We did the pump fund. Okay. Russia. Well, we got news out of Russia. But let's say thank you to our sponsors right now. I want to say thank you to channel sponsor Ledger. And I want to pull something up that I thought was really cool that Ledger put out this morning. Hold on here. Here we go. They got a little quiz. And guess who made the cut? Guess who our friends at Ledger included in their quiz that they put out? So you're thinking you're a real one when it comes to Solana self-custody. Let's put that to the test. The only true self-custodians can score 4 out of 4. Prove your IQ flex. So it's a kind of like a self-custody quiz that they put out. And there's question number 1. And here is question number 2. And guess who made the cut? I thought this was great. Which of the following SPL tokens are integrated into Ledger Live and can be managed securely with your Ledger wallet? And look who made the cut, right? We are one of the answers. I'm not going to give you the correct answer to that question. I'll let you go out to their to the Ledger post. I actually think I pinned this to my profile on X so you can see for yourself. But thank you, Ledger, for including us. And guys, don't forget, I've got it back there on the bear. You can see it right there. Right there. The Ledger Flex Solana edition is out, and it's now open to UFD holders. Certain token communities, certain NFT communities are now able to buy the Ledger Flex Solana edition. It's super cool. It shows their dedication to Solana, which, of course, we as the Unicorn Fart Dust community are part of. One more quick thing. I want to say thank you to MoonPay. Not real quick, very importantly. And MoonPay's had just a ton of news out. This came out earlier in the week. The New York State Department of Financial Services has granted MoonPay our bit license and monetary transmitter license. So this really opens up MoonPay to be able to operate more fully and in a much more comprehensive manner in New York State. That was huge, huge news. We got news from them about MasterCard. We got news from them about moving their headquarters to New York City. And then a few weeks ago, they made it you can trade UFD. You can buy UFD on MoonPay. Man, there's too much to remember. And there was, and now you can buy digital gold, Tether Gold, XAUT on MoonPay's platform. So great. I mean, MoonPay is like the fintech leader, like growing and innovating like no other company out there. Thank you to MoonPay. Thank you to MoonPay. Thank you to Ledger for sponsoring Ron's Basement. We're here because of them, guys. So please continue to include them in your posts. Continue to include them in your artwork. I'm very grateful for that. The support they give me helps me be able to be here and visit with you every single day. Okay, Russia. Big news about crypto out of Russia. And here it is. Here it is. All right, here we go. Russia just dropped a Bitcoin bomb while the U.S. debates. All right. Sber, I can never pronounce that. Sber, Russia's largest bank, which is a majority owned by the state, has begun marketing a new class of bonds whose payouts are indexed to the U.S. dollar price of Bitcoin and to movements of the dollar against the ruble, opening an officially regulated onshore route into the world's preeminent cryptocurrency for qualified Russian investors. So Russia is basically issuing Bitcoin cryptocurrency indexed bonds. The world is adopting to crypto. Okay. The world, I've always said silver and gold were the original forms of cryptocurrency, and now digital cryptocurrency right before our very eyes is being adopted in the United States and all throughout the world. It's getting very, very interesting. Let's do Duster of the Day. Today's Duster of the Day is a constant stream. Here we go. And make sure we got the right. There we go. Constant Stream. Okay. And Constant Stream is living up to their name, doing constant posts about unicorn fart dust. There he asked Agent Nyla to send 12 million UFD to me. That's not how it works, says Nyla. But really doing a great job getting out some wonderful artwork. Here, this wormhole leads to an alternative universe. And you've got people saying unicorns are a myth, farts are prohibited, where no one loves unicorn fart dust. The alternative universe. So thank you, Constant Stream. We appreciate you. We appreciate everything you're doing. And I want to read a quick little paragraph that came to us from our friend Constant Stream. He says, well, dang, that's awesome. When I told them that they are the Duster of the Day, I'm honored. I'm a little embarrassed about my little outburst the other day. So yeah, I think Constant Stream joined the community and posted a few things and said, gosh, nobody's responding to me. And I really applaud Constant Stream for pointing that out, because then what happened was the community showed up. And I think it's a great lesson for all of us in the importance, right? The welcome wagon. We can't forget how important it is for us to welcome new people to the UFD community. New people are just as important as us that have been around from the very beginning. And people that are narwhals that have millions and millions of tokens, beans, are just as important as those of us that have 2 beans. Okay. Sometimes I just feel like a ghost waving my hands in front of people's faces and never seen. It's been like that for me for a long time. So thank you for creating this beautiful environment. Honestly, there's not much to know about me. I'm 32 years old. I'm from a small town called Inverness in Florida, and I've been here my whole life. I'm a psychonaut who likes to explore all corners of the universe. I just hope I can live up to my name and keep a constant stream of unicorn magic coming out. Well, Constant Stream, you can do it, right? We all go through our highs and lows, our cycles, everything else. We are focused on discipline. and we are focused on good attracts good, right? And that's real easy, right? So, some days you want to post a whole lot. Other days, look, when you don't feel like it, that's when discipline kicks in, and maybe you only post a few things. That's true for all of us, guys. But the key is that we remain committed and that we have grit and determination. And that's what we are seeing in this community. And that is just one of the things that makes us different. But Constant Stream, we appreciate you. Okay, we appreciate you. And I want all you dusters out there, reach up. Do you feel your horn? Huh? Is there a horn up there? Is there? Does you feel that? Remember, we are the horniest community in crypto, unicorn horns. All right. Let's all together pick up that golden horn and help me install it. There we go on Constant Stream. Congratulations. Let's touch on the economy for a second, because when the economy, yesterday we got some bad jobs numbers. Tomorrow, though the ones yesterday were from ADP, tomorrow we will get the official May job numbers from the Bureau of Labor and Statistics. It could be a crazy day in the markets, okay? The economy is slowing down. You know how hard it is out there. That's why a lot of you are the dollar, the financial system's like rigged against a lot of people. And it's getting more and more difficult. I just want to point out one thing that's going on, because we all need housing, right? Think about it. All of us need a place to sleep. Everybody needs housing, and housing has gotten so expensive. People can't afford houses anymore. But now we're getting some crazy data coming out about what is happening in the housing market. This is from the Kabisi letter. They're one of my favorite sources for economic related news. And this is breaking. U.S. home values saw month-over-month declines in 61% of the U.S. counties in April. This percentage has tripled over the last few months, according to Reventure. Outside of 2022, such an elevated share was last seen during basically the great financial crisis. However, the difference between 2022 and now is that the current housing inventory is 2.5 times higher. All while there are almost 34% more sellers than buyers. The biggest difference in at least a decade. Is the housing downturn about to begin? I think it is. I think that at minimum, best case scenario for housing is that housing prices are going to remain the same for a while, and that we'll have big inflation. So in nominal number terms, people's incomes will housing prices are here, incomes are here right now, that housing prices will remain the same, but because of big inflation, incomes and wages will go up. That's what I suspect will happen over the next 10 years. We could see, right, a real decrease also. We could see wages remain the same or maybe even go up and housing prices go down. But the housing market showing signs of weakness, showing signs of being sick is not a good sign for the overall U.S. economy. And I mean, it's about time. I don't know about you, right? A lot of you are younger than me. I'm 55 years old, but this is true for anybody who's trying to secure housing. And in particular, if you're trying to buy, housing prices are out of control. I can't believe what they sell houses for in my neighborhood. I'm like, and it's not, I live in St. Louis. How compared to California, East Coast, it's cheap here. But even here, I'm like, what? Who's buying these places, and where are they getting the money to do it? I mean, it's really quite crazy. And that's why a lot of you guys have, been the frustration that I think most Americans feel. Maybe you're one of the lucky ones. And if you are, congratulations. But most Americans are feeling like financial stress right now. What is it? I think like more than 2/3 of people are living paycheck to paycheck. Okay. That's not good. Credit card debt is through the roof, student loan debt, car debt, all the debt. And then there's this other thing called buy now, pay later, right? Which is hard really for the statisticians to assimilate all together. But it's like, it's not credit card debt. It's you can buy now and pay later. And people are now buy now, pay never is what they're calling it, right? People that are using this, once your credit cards are maxed out, you go to the buy now, pay later, and they're jokingly calling it buy now, pay never. So A lot of big, massive change going on in our world right now. Look, we are UFD focused. Let's bring it back to UFD. We are good attracts good. Don't forget that, guys. That is at our core. We are tokenizing. Is it real? I know it's real, right? Can you tokenize a community? Can you tokenize fairness? Can you tokenize honesty? And the big one, the big one, can you tokenize integrity, right? You guys, look, have acted with integrity from day one. I have acted with integrity from day one. Nobody's perfect in this world. Nobody expects anybody to be perfect. But, you know, we may not know a lot about a lot of things, but we do know right from wrong. And at the end of the day, this community will attract more and more and more and more good people. I'm experiencing it. The dusters that I meet, the people that I interact with when I was in Las Vegas in real life, the people that are the new people that come, the bar is rising higher and higher, and nothing beats quality. Nothing beats quality. Okay. We also have the quantity, no doubt about it, right? But when we have a community with people like Emma Bear, the Bean, Tony the Riz, and look, I can't say everybody's name. Please don't be offended. Look at yourself. You know, if you can look and you can think right now, like, I do the right thing. I'm an honest person. I don't rip people off. If you can say that, your name's in there as well. Okay. You matter. You make a difference. Kaz, Georgie, oh boy, Crypt Wizard. I could go on and on, you know, Saf, Elizabeth, Grace. I mean, and again, we are raising the bar in crypto. That's why so many people are watching us. That's why so many people look. When I was at the Bitcoin conference in Las Vegas, it was a Bitcoin conference, 30,000 people. It was crazy. Okay. And it wasn't like when I walked through the crowd, the C's were partying like, oh, there's Ron from Unicorn Fart Dust. No, and I didn't expect it. Right. But people would come up to me over and over and say, hey, Ron, they would all say Basement Ron. I don't know why. I thought I was Ron's basement. They'd say Basement Ron. I'd be like, yeah. They're like, we love you. We love UFD. I mean, I will repeat the story one more time. There were two guys that grabbed me as I was walking through the big lobby, thousands of people. And they were like, Basement Ron. And these were professional guys, right? They're like, we love you. We're dusters, blah, blah, blah. And then as I talked to them, and I spent like 20 minutes talking to them, nicest guys. They work for one of the world's biggest financial services companies, one that you know, one that you recognize. I didn't ask their permission to say their company name, so I won't. But I can tell you, and I swear on everything in the world, everything, that these guys work for one of the biggest, and they're like, keep up the good work. Your community is awesome. Okay. I heard that same thing over and over. That's you. Hello. Are you there? Right? Dusters, Diamond Hoof Dust. Are you hearing me? That's you. That's you making a difference in this world. That's you setting an example of what crypto can be in an environment where, yeah, there's other great crypto projects, no doubt about it. But there's also been a lot of shenanigans that have gone on. So that's you making a difference in the world. Okay. Keep up the great work. Hey, don't forget. Where is it? Well, wrong finger. Don't forget right there. You see that hanging from the ceiling? Not the elephant. That's the elephant in the room for the United States, which is the national debt. That's not what I'm talking about. But don't forget, if you want to look at a cool way to store valuable things, check out Dirty Man Safe. I got one hanging right there, and you should be able to see. It says Ron10 is the discount code. It's a great way to save things in the ground, kind of like the pirates used to do. And people are still looking for the pirates' treasures. But if it's the crypto, an option, right? People always want to write that phrase thing down. I'm just saying, you know, storing it in the ground is something that you could consider. So, all right, guys, have a great day. Thank you for being here. Thanks for being part of the basement, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.